Goeiedag! Good day, fellow South Africans. And you know what? I love that you love bonsai. And he's got a little message for you guys, okay? So everybody who watches this video, please listen carefully to what bonsai has to say. So then we'll get on to the video. Yes, bonsai. Bonsai says, what do you say, bonsai? Hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to ring the bell for all the updates. Is that right, bonsai? Is that right? Is it right? Yes, yes. Okay, you heard the words of wisdom from bonsai. Now, please remember, you have to subscribe and you have to ring the bell. Now, earlier today, actually, for me it was about 2 o'clock in the morning when I got up. But about 4 o'clock in the morning, which is 8 p.m. Johannesburg time, on Sunday, the day before here, where it was Monday at 4 a.m. Yeah, time zones can be an absolute, you know what, a pain in the A. like some of these African politicians, let me think. Well, one that comes to mind straight away is not our friend, that a-hole Malema, who can pog my on, and the same goes to Andili Nixitama. Now, I am so off topic, but you guys know me by now. Okay, let's get back on topic. And the subject in this video is about the manner in which millions, and I mean millions of black Africans are fleeing the continent and moving into places like Europe, America, the Middle East, Australia, and so on. So in this video, what I'm going to start off with is a bit of an insight into the kind of general viewpoint of Australians in South Africa. And it's very, very sad. And you'll see how misinformed they are because of the fake mainstream media. And that's why this channel's main goal is to get the truth out there. Alright guys, here comes the first video. There are quite a few videos in this.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
So you're obviously advocating that we have more refugees. Do you feel the same about the white South African refugees? Should we be inviting them here as well?
No.
Why aren't you hanging out with your Nazi mate over there?
We're just not doing that at the moment. We're keeping our Nazi down. Today I got my kipper on, so I'm going to be less Nazi. South African farmers, you know, the ones that are getting raped, robbed, murdered.
No, that's ridiculous.
Are you denying what's happening in South Africa?
Yes, I'm denying it.
Why not?
They've got their own country and they stole their land.
So do the
anyway.
Syrians. Really? The white South Africans now that are about 30 years old stole land.
No, but that's the history of the place. That's the history.
So they
of South Africa.
deserve what? A genocide? Can you sign our white South African? We want to bring in the refugees from South Africa. Are you
I
happy?
would prefer if the Rohingya came here first.
Why is that? Is that because they're brown? Will you support our petition to bring down the white South Africans? Why is that funny?
I know you.
Do you know me?
I do know you. I like you.
You like me?
I do.
So you're going to sign our petition?
You be the first.
Now we have people that will integrate easily. They speak the language, they share similar cultures.
That's
Why
racist.
wouldn't? It's actually racist to not accept them because they're white.
No, it's racist. There's no such thing as reverse racism. You should know that.
I didn't say reverse racism. Will you sign a petition for the white South African farmers?
Drop dead, you're a fascist. Drop dead, you're a fascist. Drop dead, you're a fascist.
A tolerant lefty. Last year we had a priority for Syrian refugees. Did you have a problem with that?
Absolutely, because they were Christian.
Because we have enough problems with our current immigration program. In fact, I would.
with them?
Have you been to Melbourne lately?
I live in Melbourne.
Oh, great. Do you know about that Sudanese crime wave?
It's a beat up by the media.
Are you willing to match whatever we did with the special intake for the Syrian refugees last year? Are you willing to match that with white South African farmers?
I think you're twisting the issues.
No, I'm asking a pretty straightforward question. Actually, a white farmer is double as likely to get killed than a South African
where are
policemen.
your stats from?
It's their own government stats. Why don't you look at it before? You know, the problem here is that you're jumping to these conclusions because you are biased because they are white. That in itself is racist. Brother, are you against the white South African refugees? You don't want the white South African refugees?
I don't want to talk to you, man, because you're a fucker.
I'm a fucker.
Yeah, go away. Don't threaten me.
Don't touch
Don't
mine.
threaten me.
Don't
Don't
you
threaten me.
touch the
You
camera.
threaten me. Okay, man. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Oh, mate, I needed you. God bless. I was worried.
You were close to being.
God bless Victoria, please, except for that one that's on his period, but everyone else today.
He's a racist
What?
and a fascist and a murderer. That's Peter Dutton sums up for me.
How's he a murderer?
Because people are dying there.
Is he
And
killing
he's
them?
He's allowing them to die.
You're Jewish, right?
I'm Jewish.
You're Jewish. Forget it.
Now, in the next video I'm going to show, you're going to see right now there's something like 1,000+ Africans gathered on the border, southern border of the USA between Mexico and the US, and they are not being allowed entry because they've got no identification or anything. And you can see the chaos that's ensuing right there. This is only a starting point in this video. You're going to be horrified by what you see.
Well, hundreds of African immigrants protest at a Laredo port of entry Monday morning.
That's right, Max. Well, they're claiming not enough is being done by both the United States and Mexican officials to help them get asylum into the U.S.
Our Alex Gano has more on the group allegations and what U.S. custom officials have to say.
Immigrants from Africa, made up of men, women, and children, stood their ground waiting for answers outside the Mexican Customs office near Laredo Bridge.
We want to cross. We have almost a month here in Mexico, and we can't even register. That's why we're here at Customs.
After a long wait, a Mexican custom official stepped out to speak to the group. Among the hundreds, a handful of immigrants had a private meeting with custom officials while the rest waited patiently in front of Bridge 2.
Yeah, custom officials are talking to some of us.
The group not only alleges they are unable to meet with U.S. custom officials for an appointment, but that the agency is preferring one particular group over the others, Cuban immigrants.
We are worried because at the shelters, the Cubans are paying and us Africans, we can't. We don't understand what's happening.
African immigrants are also claiming mistreatment at city shelters.
There are so many people, not enough space. If you take your camera, you'll see. It's so bad.
Statements sent by U.S. Customs and Border Protection, they say in part, the number of inadmissible individuals CBP is able to process varies based upon case complexity, available resources, medical needs, translation requirements, holding and detention space, overall port volume, and ongoing enforcement actions. They go on to say port of entry facilities were not designed to hold hundreds of people at a time who may be seeking asylum, and they are also charged with keeping the flow of legitimate trade and travel. Right now, they say the Department of Homeland Security is utilizing their limited resources as efficiently and effectively as possible in the midst of the current surge at the southwest border. The solution is to have Congress respond to the repeated requests for additional resources and to address pull factors for illegal immigration. If not, they will continue to experience capacity challenges.
Okay, that's happening right now on the US border. What about Europe? And excuse the old fart in the background having a seniors moment. That's Bonsai, yep, the fellow you saw earlier. Now, what about Europe? They have been totally blown away by millions of illegal migrants coming into their countries. Open borders! The name George Soros comes to mind. Here we go, let's have a look. Now, countries like Israel are refusing to accept these illegal migrants. They're actually just sending them out again. Say, go away, we don't want you. And that appears to be the sensible way to go. Here in Australia, we have got a few hotspots with our a growing number of African refugees. And there's one common denominator with all these different parts of the world, where you get the black Africans gathering, you get increased crime, you get increased violence, you get home invasions, and you get basically a crime culture. Now, I'm not suggesting for a moment that other races don't commit crime. Look, whites commit crime. Domestic violence, things like that, theft, yes, it happens. And it's not a racial issue. What is a racial issue is that the black Africans, wherever you go, the number of them incarcerated for crimes is multiples of those of other races. And if it was happening in, let's say, just America, and it wasn't happening in Europe, and it wasn't happening in Australia, and it wasn't happening, obviously, in places like South Africa, you could understand that this might just be an anomaly. But it isn't an anomaly. There is something going on that causes the crime rate to be so much higher amongst these African groups. I'm talking about the black African groups. And, you know, the fact that they are now fleeing Africa and moving to other parts of the world to escape their genocide just underwrites the whole argument that the white South Africans in South Africa who are being ostracized, they're facing huge amounts of racism through policies like BEE, which is targeted at making sure that they get impoverished. There are so many things in South Africa that are extremely racist, and they are government policy. And that is the whole bedrock of an asylum case, is when the government targets you on a racial basis. And they're doing that in South Africa. So if the black Africans who are the beneficiaries of independence are fleeing the continent, what about the white South Africans who are the minority group who are being targeted by the South African ANC government based on race through policies like BEE, the Yes program, BBBEE, and they're just like the rest of Africa. The politicians, the well-connected politicians, are beneficiaries, financial beneficiaries. And for a plan B, they're setting up huge homes and getting all their cash into areas like Dubai, so that if the proverbial hits the fan, they can just do a runner. They're gone. They don't care about the people left behind. It is quite extraordinary. And yet, if you look at the fake news, the mainstream media, you will never ever hear anyone talking about this with even just a spark of intellectual capacity. They are so indoctrinated that they can't see what is actually going on in Africa. And the proof is in the videos that I'm showing you. Let's have a look at another one. Here goes the one of Israel and all the Africans trying to flow into that country.
We are not forced. Stop deportation. Stop deportation. We are not criminals. We are not criminals. Go abandon.
We are in a hunger strike, and today we are in a demonstration to urge to release them, at least to collect their personal belongings and to treat refugees humanity, morally, dignity.
Okay, guys, I think the videos, they say pictures tells 1,000 words. I think the videos show you exactly what's going on around the world. The black Africans are fleeing the continent. And remember, they're apparently the only indigenous Africans, according to people like the BLF and the EFF, which is the reason why the white South Africans are being ostracized. And yet they are expected to stick around, and they're getting absolutely no help from other countries. It is absolutely extraordinary. It is appalling. And it is, I'm going to call it what it is. It's a genocide. A genocide against the whites in South Africa. And, you know, once the world wakes up when there's a civil war in South Africa and things go really pear-shaped, I'm going to be such a loud noise on YouTube. They'll probably shut me down after a couple of days because I will just be ranting like you won't believe. Let's hope it doesn't get to that. Let's hope that these countries wake up and start doing the right thing. We can live in hope, can't we? All right, guys, please have a great day. Know that my thoughts and my prayers are with you all in South Africa. With lots of love, and Bonsai sends his love. As Bonsai said at the start, remember to subscribe and ring the bell. Okay, guys, take care.